Yeah, please go ahead.
So from start. This is Simon. I'm Paul. This is Simon. Simon is, he decided to come up with this idea, this solution to let's say even employment management system. So we've been trying to get this thing to work. We've developed something, but the something that we developed is more of a rough idea. It's not specific to a certain particular product. So uh, uh, as I've been trying to get you to talk to you guys, as you know, the whole idea for us to meet with you was so that we show you what we have, yeah, cool, but we also want your input so that you can be able to make this thing custom made.
Yeah.
So going forward, from now, if I'm going to present, I'm going to show you what we have made. This is just a prototype of how it's supposed to look and feel. And there's no actual particular process that there is, but it's supposed to be the actual look and feel. And we're going to explain some of the things that we're aiming to do.
Okay.
And Simon can also, Simon, if there's something that you want to say, you can also introduce yourself as well. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give a short introduction. Like Paul said, we are good friends and colleagues as well. Worked with each other for a large part of 4 months. So I think the good dynamic that we have is we have very complementary skills. So there's areas that is strong with and vice. So when we come together, we often create magic and be enthusiastic and really passionate about what we're trying to do. And I think our experiences that we've had in the workplace has only made us realize that we're too ambitious to just be constantly working for the man. So hence why we try to come up with ideas and try to execute it because you never know. Definitely believe that whatever you put out there, God will reach you halfway and the rest will come to play.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So let me not waste much of your time. So I'm gonna just show you quickly what we have so far. All right.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll just introduce myself for the benefit of
Oh,
Simon.
sorry.
Good to know you as well, Simon. So my name is Emmanuel Chindoe. I'm a co-director for a company based in the United Kingdom called Kempshire Limited. And then I've got my colleague Liza. She's also co-director of Kempshire Limited. So basically, we are in the health and social care industry in the UK. But we are branching out, into other sort of like sectors, of industry. Now, within our current establishment, we have a workforce of roughly around 40 plus. Is that correct?
Yeah, nearly 50.
Nearly 50.
No.
Well, yeah. And so
about 48.
About 48. Yeah. Now it just yeah, so when you've got such a workforce, I mean, for us others, it might not be a big deal. For others, it might be a big deal. So we are looking obviously to develop a particular portal that can actually carry sort of like data for 48 plus stuff, not only stuff but clients as well. We want something that is bespoke, something that is user friendly. We have used other portals before, but they kind of don't meet what we are kind of like looking for. They're not specific to what we actually do. So we invested in one particular software, particular portal, but we're not using it. The problem was that we took a contract on it, which was long-term contract. And in the UK, when you're engaging with certain products and services, you have to read the blueprint as well. So it's kind of like when we're coming towards the end of the contract, apparently, you have to give, they themselves were saying you have to give 3 months notice before to confirm you're not extending the contract. So in our case, by the time we then decided that this was not what we want, we gave notice. They said, oh, it's only a month notice you gave us before the end. So you have to continue, or you have to pay out, whatever you're going to pay for the year. So that was a legally binding contract, but we thought to ourselves, well, what we could then do is to kind of study how their own sort of like software is.
Right.
And then we can sort of like from there kind of develop, what we're looking for. Because we've got access to it and things like that. Now, within our team, some of our staff members have got background in designing, in analysis, in data, different sort of like sort of backgrounds. So they're part of our employees. So hence why, obviously we wanted to get to meet both of you first. And obviously before we bring these guys on board and stuff, it'll be important for us to obviously have something that is concrete, that is sealed. And, before some people come on board, have a disclaimer that we put for them. Because the other thing you have to be careful of is people can steal ideas. You understand? So we want to be protected. And so I was not keen on just quickly bringing them, because you might then be surprised tomorrow. Oh, wow, somebody else from your company is design, and we like to do things properly. We like to do things properly. Yeah, it might be slowly, but, surely. But that's not just the idea of us, coming together. We also shared with Paul to say, look, we have actually seen that there's actually a niche for such kind of a software product, that could be introduced into the market, in the UK and other, in other sort of like countries where people are looking for something similar, but they do not have enough providers. So we were looking at, why not then, we develop something for Kempshire. Once we develop something for Kempshire, then we develop, we can then, look at marketing and, presenting to say, look, this is what we have. We can make something that is bespoke, which is tailor-made to yourself. So we will be like a case study, say, yeah, this is what we have, this is what we use, this is how it works. And the benefit of us having some of the guys who are IT sort of like, experts and all, that I think that will be an added advantage. We've got, some guys that have done, analysis. Some of them have done what you call this program. Is it C++, Python, who have done, a lot of these different, some have done what you call sort of like the back end, of software. Yeah. Some have done like hardware. Some have done the front end of software. So we've got a skill set of guys within our team. So they've been waiting as well, eagerly waiting for some time. We're saying to them, guys, want to harness the expertise that you have and then come together. So they've been eagerly waiting, but we were waiting for the proper time, and we were thinking, okay, we need to at least have a reference point, something to say, okay, guys, this is exactly what we're looking for. They've got an idea of the portal that we're currently, using. We're not even using it. We just bought it, but it's not meeting what we are looking for. And so we thought at least once we sort of like get to talk, the next stage would be like, okay, guys, what you've been waiting for, this is a sample of what is being worked on, and now we're gonna need to have input. We're gonna need to have a conversation. Yesterday, because with the nature of our industry, the clients that we provide are sort of like part of local authorities, local government. So yesterday, we actually had a meeting with a commissioner who, is responsible for our contracts. And one of the key things was mentioning the need for us to have such, that we now need to have software. Because we couldn't use the software we invested in, we were doing things kind of like manually. So we're using things like Google Drive for storing of documents and things like that. And that's kind of like archaic. But the thing was, that's what we could only use in the interim, because what we invested in was not actually working. So yesterday we had a very serious conversation. They're like, look, you need to get this thing. So we did mention to them in passing, Eliza mentioned yesterday together with one of our managers that, yeah, we actually have something in the pipeline. So we are, working on something. So yeah. So that's why we feel it's time, we kind of had a few delays along the process why we couldn't get to meet, because there's sort of like a lot of changes that were taking place within our industrial sector. So we had to meet certain standards that they require. Now that we've met those required standards, now we are in a position to say, okay, now we have to look into this, software investment. So yeah, I thought I'll just sort of like give an overview in a nutshell. I'll hand over to Liza. I don't know, Liza, I probably might have missed something that you might want to add.
Oh, not at all. There's nothing I want to add, but just that as much as they have a zeal, we also have a zeal to expand. So 50 staff is not going to be like 50 staff. So when you do the capacity, we must do something that is bigger, that will have a lot of users and a lot of clients. So I'm just mindful that, your end side, that side might not have internet really time, because not shedding, isn't it?
Yeah, no, we have, but lucky enough, we have now started to, adjust, adapt to load shedding. So we have certain things that keeps us online no matter if it's load shedding.
Backups,
UPS and stuff. You have to survive, because if you don't survive with the times, you'll be left behind.
I know. Emmanuel, I think has said everything.
It was quite an informative, brief summary of
introduction.
What we hope to achieve together.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I think I only mentioned about staff. So we're talking about staff, but also we are talking about the actual clients that we provide a service for. And this is young, sort of like, teenagers that we kind of look after. It's almost like, it's kind of a children's home. So it's that sort of version of this side. So that particular portal, we should be able to do literally everything. We should be able to store information about them, different sort of like data. We should be able to do things like invoicing as well, because we're a business. There's do things like rotoring as well. So there's quite a few things we would need to do, but I think it's something that I think we'll kind of go into more detail, having also our experts. And I think at a point being able to kind of share with you the current portal that we have been using, so that you kind of get an idea of, what it's like, the outlook and everything. But it's not meeting what we're looking for. I think it will work better than that. We will obviously be telling you as you're building, like, okay, we require this, or what care control is done there is not applicable to us. That needs to be changed. It needs to be in such and such a way. So at least you'll be able then to kind of configure and design it to our specification.
Yeah, definitely. That's the end goal. That's the end goal. So, let me quickly just give you share my screen and show you what we have so far. it told me if you can share. I can see my screen yet. Can you see my screen? Is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the whole point what we're trying to do, if you see here, we got administrator and employee. So what we're trying to achieve here, we will have a system that is centered on three components. The administrator, which is the guys who have access over the employee and the client. And then you also have the employee who is directly employed by the administrator, and then provides a service to the client. And then we also have the client, which is the third component. So this is going to be the employee profile. So employee is going to be able to see their information up. If it's poor can see their settings. So this is supposed to be like a list of the tasks or clients that they are assigned to. Going to be calendar for their days here. There's going to be a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff there, I'm going to say them on the fly, but you might tell us if it's needed or not. But this is going to be like more of the employee dashboard. And then this is going to be more of the administrator dashboard. So the administrator should be able to see the amount of employees who are in, the amount of clients who are currently being helped at the moment. Certain metrics, you can put them there. You can put certain locations that you are. You're going to have graphs, that certain things that you want to make graphs of, you can be able to create graphs. This can also be a list of clients that are available and stuff like that. So our thing now, what we're trying to do, we're trying to continue to set an onboarding process. So this onboarding process is going to have two forms that are going to be like this for the employee, for a client. So once you have a client, if you're getting a new client, you can be able to input the information. Okay, this is going to change based on the client or the employee. This is for the employee. So you can be able to enter the information, a picture, so whatever information that you want to be able to attach to them, you can be able to enter. You either need an employee or a client. Then from then, you're going to have two, from that main point of view, let me say you're going to have two views. So you're going to have a view that now, let's say this is going to be a table of the employees that are in the company. So once you click on this employee, you can now see the clients that that employee is actually assigned to. And it can be a list, or it can be, depending on how many people that they have. Then from that now, you as an administrator, you can see the employee and these clients, and then also the client and the people that they've worked under before. You can also keep that history and stuff like that. So that's the first thing that we want to create. That's what we're actually in the process of creating. But we haven't created that yet, because we wanted to also hear from you. What would you want to rather have first? But this is the process that we want to first create. The onboarding process, whereby an administrator can be able to put on a client and also put on an employee. And then an employee can be able to see their information on their own after logging in, which is going to be this profile here, that they can be able to now see the client that are assigned to them and the tasks that are assigned to them.
Okay.
And from then on, we're going to move on to the next things, which we believe you guys need to know for the system to grow a bit bigger. So that's where I was asking about those guys if they're joining, because now the design and feel of how things are supposed to be aligned. You also need the guys who have experience with this software to be able to show us how exactly this thing was supposed to look, so that you guys have that customized version of things. And yeah, because us, we can create a lot of these components, but if they're not in the right spot or in the right place where you guys actually want it to be, it can never, be a nice use experience. It has to be a nice use experience where you guys can enjoy and be able to make more out of it. And then moving forward, you're gonna have a page for tasks. You're gonna have a page for web messages, so you could check the messages if somebody's task is assigned to you, or a client is certain messages will be coming to an employee. So this is going to be both for an employee and for an administrator. And also we're going to have authentication. Also, so that you guys are already using Google as your authentication. I mean, is your email server. So we want to see if you can also implement Google. And so again, just clicking sign in Google, but it takes your Kempshire email address. And we use that now to see if you are an admin or if you're an employee or what role do you have at Kempshire. then we render or we show the the dashboard based on your role at Kempshire. And then so that's where we are currently. We're gonna something that I was supposed to be done, but we're working stuff, and I also wanted your feedback. But that's the stuff we want to first create for you, is the starting working version of your software to kickstart with, and then from then we can grow from that.
Okay.
So
So on there, sorry to, is it time for questions or you still?
No, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
I was thinking, here, in order not to confuse things, because employees portal should be on its own, isn't it? When you're talking about human resources, is this human resources?
Yeah.
And
okay, so I wanted
there.
Okay, sorry.
Admin employee.
Okay, no, you are right. So it's supposed to be different. The reason why it was like this is because right now we don't have that. So I just wanted to show you for for demo purposes. But as you're gonna be working now, when somebody logs in, an employee will never see administrator. An administrator will never see employee. But an administrator will have a dashboard that give them access to an employee's information.
Okay.
But for now, it was just for demo purposes to just show you the type of dashboards that you're gonna have. We're gonna have two dashboards, and an administrator one, and an employee one.
Okay.
But as we start,
so this employee, even if it's seen by the admin, right? It's just the employee in regards to working with the clients, isn't it?
Client, yes. So
not anything that do about their personal information.
No. So the employee can only see the client information. All right.
All right.
So if there's part for them to want to edit the information, they have to ask the administrator to do it for them.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's something that we're gonna implement. Yeah.
But so the employee can onboard a client? Can he onboard a client?
No, they can't. Only an administrator can. Only an administrator has the right to on. That's how we wanted to implement it. But if you want us to implement that, an employee can onboard a client, we can give that access to an employee. But right now, we wanted only the administrator to do it, so that we don't give the employees access to clients' information.
So what does the employee, what rights does the employee have?
On this part now, the employees will have the right to get information like your daily reports, documentation. If the client is information that they want to pass to, the employee can be that person who will be able to upload that information on behalf of the client, but they can be able to be that person who's got that responsibility. So the client will give the employee, this is my information, the employee takes it and uploads it, then it falls under when the administrator sees it now, it says that, okay, employee one is uploaded information about client one. That kind of, those are the rights that I wanted to.
All right, so they can add information, documentation, and everything, but everything onboarding is done by an admin. So which can be a senior person in the
yes, there we go.
Calendar, onboarding, profile. There's a client profile, right?
So sorry for this. Some of these things that I hear, they are not actually straight, but these are information that I wanted to show you. This is going to be how our taskbar shows. So this can be different, but these are things that I was going to be able to use. So you can choose what you want to be on this. You can give me, okay, I want our taskbar to have A, B, C, D, so that A can go to this, A can this, and so. But for now, I just want to show you how they look and feel.
Okay. No, that's quite good. That's quite helpful, because we want to say, if you open a profile, you open a profile of John, who's our client. That's the profile. And then if you need to add a form, you got a set of forms that probably you want to do a risk assessment. You go to the forms, load the risk assessment, do the risk assessment, and save it into a YP, into a John. Yeah, which is good. And then tasks, yes, we want them because the admin or anyone can send a task, or the staff can also send tasks to each other.
Okay.
Say
Okay.
there's something ongoing, they want to so and so who's coming on next, give a task and so and so. That's actually brilliant. Chatting as well, messaging, we yeah.
So
Signing
messaging so messaging this one here, I don't want to oversell the product, but this one with messaging, for now, we just want it to be notifications if there's a change on your set, I mean, on your profile. Let's say maybe somebody's requesting leave, then it pops up. Then you can say that employee ABC wants leave, or maybe then you assign the task to an pops, but we still not yet there yet. We're still trying to implement that platform. Yeah.
What about chat?
So
Chat. What's that chat?
These charts were supposed to be information. It's a different chart. It's not our normal chart. It's a different chart to.
So these are like graphs and data information and things like that.
Data or statistics, different things. Yeah.
Any kind of reports that you want to display or have in a quick overview, also for like walking stuff like that.
All right. So when we go to onboarding, can we see what you put on onboarding?
So this is a form for now. So this is more of like an employee form, first name, last name, email, position, department. So this choose your file is supposed to be one is supposed to be for a picture, and then the other is for documents.
First name, email. Yeah. So this onboarding, we will ask one of our managers to give you exactly, because I've already asked her to come up with things that she wants us to do, because according to our YP and this data, whatever, the information here is what we want her to do. So the onboarding and some of the forms, like here, I think it's going on the onboarding, we might as well put as well a lot of things. Instead of putting forms aside, we can put risk assessment, we can put
I see what you're talking about.
under the onboarding, because they need to be done all at the same time. So that form can just come from, first name, surname, number, social worker, and everything. And then the next page could be, I wish I could get this that I used to use. And then the next page could be the risk assessment, the plan, so that everything on one thing on the onboarding.
So we make onboarding move like a So we make onboarding move like a process. So it is a page whereby you enter your let's say your demographic information. Then the next page it is your assessments and stuff like that. And the third page can even that can actually be arranged.
Somewhere where you put the picture of the young person.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Then, so we're gonna have two onboarding forms, because we're gonna have the two onboarding forms for the employee and onboarding form for the client as well.
Onboarding for this is for the we call them young people, young person. So you can say young person's profile or something like that. We'll come up with names that are, every industry has a language. So we'll come up with the languages that we use, young person and things like that. So, and then the other thing that I was going to ask is, we have different sites. So we have the first one, then we have Medway, we have Liverpool, we have Liverpool, not Liverpool as such, but it can be Northwest. So and then we have East Sussex and things like that. Are you going to make them differently, because the young people from Medway. We don't want them to be mixed up and they're seen all over. But if it is Medway, it's Medway, and
Yes,
then if it's Northwest, it can be Northwest. So we don't want them to be all in the same, like all in the same
same region.
yeah. So we want them to be divided. I don't know whether that is possible.
that is possible.
Yeah, we can
Almost
filter
like,
based on
like a multi-tenant solution. So each site will be its own tenant in a sense.
okay.
Do something like that for sure.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, okay, cool. So these are some of the things that we wanted you to give us. So now from that now we make a requirement, then we plan on it and see how quick can we implement it. Yeah. So
because
I'm sure after this we just write down everything. Then as we're gonna have a list of things that you have said that you want, and then we relay that message, that list back to you. And then you see if it's the right things, then we start implementing them as soon as we can.
Because I used a system that is countrywide, but you can only log into a certain location with certain logins. You can't use this. You might use the same, but you have to come out of one location to go into another location to find out. And I think you are given rights to go into that site because the kind of work we do is data protection is really is something that they really look into. So they wouldn't want one young person to be known with the whole country, but we protect somewhere where they are.
Okay, I see. So basically you want to restrict access to clients' information based on location. So if somebody is not okay, so somebody is in Liverpool, you should be able to see somebody's information that's in house.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that's Simon, I think we can do that. Yeah? We should be able to do that. Yeah, we just filter based on location. We just see based on where you are located. If you're not, the location does not match the current location where you are, then we can't access that information. Yeah, we should be able to
because our commissioners as well will be using the same portals to access what is going on with their young people. So they wouldn't want to see any other young person in there.
Different.
So they want to be restricted to, if it is whole, let them be whole alone, and they can see all their whole clients in there, the young people in there. And then the same as Medway, the same as Northwest.
Okay.
And
no,
the
definitely.
same everywhere else. So if we are restricted to location, then that will be fine as well.
Yeah.
Now we'll look for either location, or then we'll look for a solution whereby we pick up what exactly makes each and every certain site unique. So we might give each site an ID, so that we say, okay, these are kids who are gonna be at this site. We just assign them to that ID, and then we just know we're gonna map them using that ID. So I'm sure we'll come up with it. Someone will come up with something. I know someone that's your stuff.
We'll come up with something. Apart from the administrator, giving employees being able to log in and getting access, it has to be such that the administrator is able to give access to external. Sometimes we have, other than commissioners, probably will have certain inspectors. So, administrators should be in a position to give them temporary access. They might
accounts,
so wherever they are, but they'll just give them. So it's controlled access. They'll just give them access to what they want them to see, the location, or the individuals that they want to see. They might say, "Oh, we want to see stuff." So it's getting to give them that particular access. So the administrator should have those functions to enable that to happen.
Okay. Yeah, it's doable, yeah, because it's creating a user, then user, you give them certain access. So
Yes.
it's just that we just want to give the administrator the ability to create another user and give them certain access to access certain, yeah, it's doable. Sam?
And with regards to that, is it, I think with the administrator, I think there will have to be maybe a few administrator, because you might have one administrator who probably is not, who is away. So you want to be able to give another administrator access as well. So, ideally it could be, three, senior management, for example. It could be maybe people who are in senior management, who have logins and things like that. Yeah.
I also want to add that the roles that we have, it's not just two-dimensional. So you guys can also come up with the different roles, so not just the ones we have, like administrator, employee. I know you can find some more for fit, more for use case to your business scenario, with what you can do with on a day-to-day. I'm sure you have already hierarchies and certain people should do it, certain people should not be. So that is also something that we can implement, and already, like you mentioned, logs into the application, we can already set this person as an inspector role, and then they're only able to see 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then if that needs to change, then the administrator, or the highest, let's say the highest level role, which in this case is the administrator, can then override and has the freedom to change.
Yeah.
So my other question is it possible to make this portal in a way that, because we write weekly notes, we write or daily notes, weekly notes, monthly notes, and these have to be passed on to the, to the commissioning or the social workers. So yeah, would that be a possibility that on this portal people be able to forward those? So maybe first, staff on duty, they write the daily notes, the weekly notes. Then we have like senior, well, we also have team leaders. We can then access and see what other employees have done. So they will be able to say, yeah, this is okay. They can then forward them to, let's say, the social workers. I don't know, would that be able to, is that possible to have those kind of functions? Because at the present moment, we are using emails for that. And emails, they get clogged up. Emails, they, it doesn't really sort of like do a certain.
Can I ask a question in regards to that?
Yes.
Like, would you like the note to be in a, let's say, like a centralized place, like maybe a certain section of the portal where it says notes, or what you call them, daily notes, weekly notes?
Yeah.
And then
So
I'm able to click on, able to sort of see and share and send it.
Yeah, certainly. So they'll be able, in a position to, there'll be a section where, where people can input daily notes, a section where they can put weekly notes, they can put a monthly notes, or what you call monthly report. Then they should be able to share. So they'll be able to select a person who can share with as well. Might be sharing with another, employee, might be able to, and, things like that as well.
Okay. Yeah, that is really possible.
Okay. Now, the other aspect is being able to actually access, because obviously we have a portal, we're talking of a portal here. How will employees and other people, how are they able to access this? Are they able to access this on like phone devices and things like that? And would we be able to monitor who has logged in at what time and who is doing what at what time?
All right. Yeah. So you'll be able to access it on the web and mobile. We'll make it mobile friendly as well, so that it looks good on your mobile. And then because you guys already use Google as your service, we'll actually go to the Google Cloud platform that offers solutions in authentication, authorization. So they have basically built-in modules which we can take advantage of, and they also have analytics of that information you requested to see who's logged in, how long they've logged in, and stuff. So it would be something new to us that we would have to research a little bit into. But I've done something similar with the Microsoft platform. So for Google, it's a bit of research, but from working with these platforms, I know that it's possible.
Yeah. So basically, you want something more like a Kempshire, whereby you can see if somebody looking for work and how long they've been at work. So yeah, like someone said, we can implement a way that so that if somebody is clocking for work, when they log in, it automatically picks up that they log in. So if you want to track their activity using the login, they're logging in. Yeah, we can implement something like that.
Yeah.
Then maybe you can be now seen as somebody they say from a bit higher. You can be able to see the amount of hours that they were in for this on Monday or when they logged in and logged out, something like that. Okay.
Yeah. So I was talking about that, but I was also talking mainly about, if they are accessing this on a mobile phone, right? It could be on a Saturday, Sunday. They are not at work, and then they just log in. So as Liza mentioned, data protection, because they might then decide, oh, let me show you the client I'm working with, or this kind of, this client that I'm supporting, and they might show anybody. So the thing is, obviously, for data protection, they're not supposed to do that. However, if they're not on duty and they log in,
So in other words,
if they're logging in whilst they're off duty, we will be able to tell, the administrator should be able to tell, oh, this person logged in at that time, and so we'll be able to find out, okay, they logged in, what activity did they do? Were they just looking at patient notes, or what exactly were they doing, that sort of a thing? So that we'll be able to then say, look, or they could be called to say, look, this thing you've logged in, are you on site or are you off site?
Okay.
Yeah. And it could have a notification.
So
whenever they're logging in, they could have a notification to say, please confirm which site you are at the moment. If they're off site, then maybe it does not enable them because they're off site, unless they're given particular rights by the admin. If you want to log in off site, please, request from the administrator rights to be able to do that.
That's actually a requirement. Yeah, that's actually
so I think,
something we can look into.
In other words, what Emmanuel, I want to expand with what Emmanuel said is having to register anyone who enters into a client's portal. Even if you just open and close, it should record who has gone into a client's portal.
Yeah. I think so. From that requirement, it's something that we hadn't looked at, but with research, I'm sure we can implement it, because it's just catching timestamps and location, the time that you're logged in and where were you logged in, and then just not. So we're gonna have to put something on our system that tracks the navigation. Where did you navigate to, and what did you access? So so we can implement something like that. Not sure how long it's going to take us, but I think we can implement tracking on our application.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, we hadn't thought of it. We hadn't thought of it, to be honest. But it's something that I'm sure we can implement. We can definitely implement it.
Yeah.
But sorry, for the clarification on this point, I just want to make sure I'm also within loop. So how do you know that a person is not supposed to be logged in at that time? Are there shifts, or what is an indicator to say
shift?
Yeah, shift. So there's a rota. So this will also generate a rota as well. What I was thinking of is, so every week, or let's say, the system will generate rotas. So for example, in a month, let's say someone is supposed to work 100 hours. So I don't know if there's a way that it can develop, there's an algorithm where it can actually pick up, say, okay, this person, has not been on shift, this person is not been on shift or has been on shift. So it can suggest rotas to say, yeah, this rota, Monday to Thursday, this person should be on this particular shift because they haven't sort of like covered hours. So if it can actually do some sort of like rotas automatically, of which, let's say somebody can't come into work because they're not well, the admin manually can go in and obviously kind of change it so that at the end of the month, everyone, because if everyone is supposed to work, let's say 100 hours, I mean, the law here says, 40 hours a week. So let's say you're supposed to have 160. So at the end of the month, that everybody has had 160. Some might have less, but not more than.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a possibility that you can have an algorithm set for the rota that it does it automatic, but can still be, adjusted manually. Then at the end of the month, it can also then generate timesheets. Staff themselves can then generate timesheets, or it can generate timesheets for staff, which the staff they'll look at. And then obviously we'll have the information of the timesheets. Then we'll generate like a pay slip or something as well from that software, where it'll be like, okay, this person worked 160 hours. This is the rate, what they get per hour. This is what they're going to get paid after tax, and what if it does all those particular calculations. If they took holiday, yeah, it does the same thing.
But isn't that open us to a lot of people manipulating? Because someone can just go on the system in order for them to be recognized by the system that it worked, yet it didn't actually work.
Yeah,
but that's where the tracking comes in. That's when that tracking they were talking about comes in.
Because like say we are now 100. In order for you can only monitor that somebody has been after something has happened, then you go on to the system, but you won't be able to check everyone who was supposed to be there and not there. So the system generate things like that. The system will not know that somebody's just been there for 2 minutes and come out. And then the system can now pick up the person who's never been working. I don't know, I'm just thinking.
No,
that there's something that we have to do manually. Like if it is a rota, if you set up a rota for us, and then someone who is an administrator can only operate the rota. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm not a very good computer. I'm just thinking of manipulation.
No, you are right. There is a loophole, but from what we're discussing, you remember when we said that there should be something that asks somebody which site are you on, all right? So now we're gonna be checking. Now somebody says that there is a certain site, all right? The days now it has to check with their produced, let's say produced timesheet. If somebody says that I'm at let's say how, but you're not supposed to be in how, and the timesheet says you're supposed to be somewhere else, then that's where it has to raise a question now. Okay, you are logging in and you're saying that you're in how, but you're not supposed to be now. What do you actually want? If somebody logs in at a certain time and then they say that I'm actually at this place and they're not there, then now that's where you talk about that thing that needs to be manual. You now need to check, you have to call in on your own. Okay, are you actually at work or not? Because there's no way the system can check that.
Okay, so who is the checking?
Right.
So
the admin.
You can we can
remember
get
they're on a shift
trigger.
And remember they've got shift leaders. So shift leaders will have access to rotas. I mean, the shift leaders have access to rotas. So shift leaders, their task could include them just confirming who was on a shift, who was on
shift. Yeah.
So that way, nothing goes missed on the radar.
like Simon also mentioned that the users that we had with an administrative employee, but we can also bring in a couple of more people who are in the hierarchy order. We have a shift leader that now only receives certain notifications that okay, Paul is logged into to House City site. Okay, cool. Let me call. Is Paul there now? That's where the manual part of the thing comes in now. We're gonna call and say, okay, Paul was it. We confirm. If they don't confirm, it means that person they don't get allocated those hours on their payroll. Only after a shift leader says confirm that this person is there, then we can get to allocate those hours. Then we can be able to generate those. So it's a process that we have to go through, but we just need to designate certain positions on when after this happens, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, then we can be able to automate that whole process and make it something that happens online. That's so it's one of those requirements that you have mentioned that we on our side now, since you have mentioned it, we've never even thought of it. It's something that you're gonna have to come up with a way to make it materialize, but we have a walkthrough of it, how it needs to happen. So it's now in our board, the boys are now putting out for us to come up with code that works that way or software that works that way. But at least you have explained it. But okay, because we did not know of this, I don't know, like we're not gonna think of it from our heads at any point. That's why we needed feedback from you. So it's one of the things that you've also mentioned. So we need to put it as a requirement that you guys have. So I think this is not the second requirement that you actually have and you want it to be part of the system. And then you have to note it down. And then, if there's another one, you mention it, you explain to us, then we get the whole concept, then we also implement it as well.
Okay.
But I'm sure me and Simon, from what they've said, the two things that they've said so far, I'm sure they are doable. They are quite doable. Try to track the usage of the whoever is there, can be an employee or can be an administrator, can be a site manager. Just check their usage of the app, what they have done. Then we keep a report of that, and then also be able to keep track. There's some things that to be honest with you, I have to watch this whole video. To come back. But because we need to write them down and then align them so that we know you guys exactly. We got how you want it, and then we can code it and be able to make a process out of this whole thing for you.
Exactly. And also maybe give estimations or, so that's easier when we give progress. We're this far, we're that far.
Okay. Security wise, how secure is this?
Also, thank you for some information. Thank you for information. We're gonna use GCP. Okay, we have a couple of options that we wanna use. So GCP is Google. So once we tap into Google is a platform that provides certain secure methods that we're gonna be able to utilize. So some of them we'll mention to them as we are implementing them. Can't mention them on top of the head, but we're gonna use Google methods that we don't have to implement ourselves. Google already gives us out of the box, but we might also need to pay for it just for so that we know we're standard.
Okay.
So the servers
also you can ask. Sorry for
that. Right. So for such a kind of a thing, will you have things like servers for it, and where would be the location of the servers?
So now we're gonna use a cloud. We're gonna use cloud. So we're gonna just buy a cloud space from that's what GCP is, a Google Cloud Platform. So we're gonna use the cloud space. So they're gonna have their servers. I don't know what they're gonna give us way, but we're gonna try to make sure we get something that's close to UK, so that the latency is gonna be a little bit low. You guys can have quick connection. As we are developing, we don't really need that much of a latency issue. So but in terms of usage, we're gonna get our Google instance towards Europe, so that you guys can have a better latency. That's like
So basically Google will provide all the infrastructure we need to keep it running, and again also in terms of security, managing users as well.
And also turnaround time. What do you guys are you expecting this, so that we can also at least the first MVP?
ASAP.
Sooner the better, really.
ASAP.
So maybe
Yesterday.
better.
yeah, maybe so maybe you can start
Like yesterday.
yeah, so you could start with things which are, I think the priority at the moment for us is the few things we mentioned in the beginning: onboarding of different clients, onboarding of employees, being able to do daily notes, weekly notes, monthly reports,
information.
and then obviously the other things relating to, the employees, sort of like data, where they can put their data, having things like the calendar, annual leave, and things like that. So I think some of the other things we can then be building, they can be building as we go along, but at least the priority of these things which I mentioned, and also being able to give access to external parties like, social workers and commissioners, giving them rights to see certain information.
Yeah, so human resources, when you're talking about staff, needs quite a bit of compliance that they need to, so the system will be able to pick that this person is fully compliant. Yeah, brought in their references and everything that is required to be compliant. And then you take, is your TBS current? What else? Your training, are the training, are they up to date and things like that? So the human resources one is also like a big one, a massive one. But what like ASAP is the one for the clients.
Okay.
Our young
No
people.
problem. Okay. So if you don't mind, since we just want to have access to it, so that we can, or even a recording of it, so that we can just see, the type of field that you guys have, so that just for reference purposes. And then and then the guys that your designer guys, if they can help us with a bit of UI, I mean UX, like things how they're supposed to do based on what you're showing you. I'll send you the online link of this that they can actually go in and see. Then they see how the design is right currently. Then if they can design something based on this and make it look, then we can implement it. So that we have something that's concrete both sides.
So we could do so. Even if you want to meet with them as well, we can always set up a Zoom and then you can always discuss. But I think initially, isn't it just come up with some report or something?
I'm sending the link in this chat for the actual one live. That's this one. They can access it. It's currently live. You click on it. It is kind of the same information that we are showing. So yeah.
So what is your system code? Sorry. What is the name of your system?
No, right now we don't have a name. We're gonna name it Kempshire.
It might be called Liza, you never know.
Okay.
So on that though, remember the conversation.
Right now we're just putting it HRMS, HR management system.
Because I'm thinking with the kind of job that we do, there are a lot of providers who are like us, who also need the same thing. So we can always say, oh, they still add or something like that. There's this which we are using, and then that's how we can market. So you need to really brand it.
Yeah. So from what we spoke about last
we need to do that,
time,
and then we'll come up with a super name.
Yeah. Well, from what we spoke about last time, we spoke about obviously the collaboration aspect of it, because we mentioned that we are actually setting up a division, a subsidiary of, that specifically deals with, technology. So, Kempshire Technologyz. So basically, this is something to kind of think along those lines, because then, we could have our first Kempshire Technologyz in SA that you guys will be representing, in terms of building technologies and things like that. So it's just something I'm throwing over to you guys, because like Liza mentioned, we have a number of, we are in the industry and we know what other people are looking for. And this is something that we can, you know, obviously once we've got something going that's working, it can be marketed, you know, to other people who are in the health and social care industry. Not only that, it can be marketed as well, you know, in other sectors, you know, because we are a company that's growing, that's getting into other sectors as well. Where you're employing people, where people are employed, yeah, you know, we are basically you know, we'll be focusing on spreading that technology. I was going to say as well, with regards to the building of this, what sort of like the capacity, or what are the cost implications, and what are the, you know, timescales in terms of hours? Because I know you have to put in hours to be building some of these particular things. I don't know if it's something you already have. It will depend on obviously the information we give you, the specifications that we give you, and then you're gonna be trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think that question, it's always a difficult to answer right off the bat. But I think if we watch the recording, I've made a few notes of what we can do. Then we can also give, once we also plan the technology, we can then give you an estimation of how much resources we need to utilize from Google. Maybe give you guys a breakdown, and then take it from there. Also a breakdown of the amount of hours that we'll be also putting towards this on a daily basis. I think that all depends on yeah, the turnaround time that we need, and as well complexity of some of the features and everything. So taking everything into consideration,
Yes,
then we can give you a much more concise and clear answer than doing it right now off the bat.
okay.
Yeah, true. I think let's give them a turnaround maybe by Tuesday. Should come back with something. It's Tuesday, okay? But as we're gonna, because and then we can ask for a listen meeting with those with the designers, if you don't mind. We can maybe meeting with them so that we can start implementing some of this cool stuff that we want to implement as soon as possible. Then we start.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got different people who do different things: designers, graphic designers, web designers. You know, so we can. Yeah, we can have a meeting and discuss. Yeah, with this software, are you able to upload things like pictures, things like short videos as well? Will it have space for that? Yeah,
it also have space for that. Yeah,
that's
because we actually aiming on implementing a proper database. Because like remember we were talking about the data protection and stuff like that. So some of this data is going to be quite important in the future, because the information that you're capturing right now, the government might need to use it. So the best way to keep such data and such information is in a proper data. So we're going to try to see if we can get a database that can actually get all this information. That's why Simon mentioned that we need to go and check Google and stuff and come back with, because we're going to need to implement certain technologies that will allow us to do certain stuff.
Yeah, because one of the key things that we do is showing evidence of what we are doing with the clients. We have to prove that, oh yeah, we're doing this activity with the clients. We took them on a trip. They're learning how to cook. We're teaching them. So at times they want to see the picture of the client actually doing something. That's evidence. Social workers said that, I see for sure you're really doing something with the client. You're not just with the client, just right, because you can write notes of things you haven't actually done. This particular data will be specifically captured, specifically stored, you know, securely stored, and can only be shared on a need basis. So with the social workers, and it's something that over time can be deleted as well. You know, after a period of time can be, you know, deleted. Because these young people, they come to be with us for 2 years, then they move on. So when they move on, some of that information might then be put in an archive, which I think maybe, it would be good to also have an archive as well as we proceed, because I think there's quite a lot that we are thinking of that will be essential for the portal. But I think let's start from somewhere. And then, we're talking about an ongoing process. The other thing as well is obviously we're talking about servicing and maintenance of such a portal. Other clients as well, when we, build such a portal for them, they'll require, sort of like those services as well. That's business, So yeah. So I think as we work on this particular program, on this particular project, once you guys kind of crunch numbers, look at whatever and stuff like that, then we can come to a consensus and agreement. Okay, this is how we're gonna sort of like work together and stuff like that. You'll be representing
Kempshire and stuff. Now, to be honest, this project for us is something that's it's a proud moment, because me and him and Simon, we've been looking to do something on our own. And when we thought of this idea and we said we wanna make it live, and I was looking for somebody who I can actually implement it on. And then when you guys came through, you have no idea how much the excitement we've been having the past month. Because we really want to see how far we can go, because this thing that we want to create now for us, it's gonna be something that's gonna be a long term. I mean, we can even. It's something that we want.
Yeah. That's why I was talking about Kempshire Technology.
We want to grow big.
It's not just a one-off thing that you just make something and then off you go. No, we were talking about something long-term.
Exactly.
Something solid. That's why, we're talking about, let's collaborate. Let's work. Yeah.
Well, we are with you. Trust me, we're gonna make this work. And we're gonna make it look nice, and we're gonna make it proper.
Definitely.
Can I just mention something about, like I told you that our clients have to buy by location, Medway or Northwest and things like that. But when it comes to staff, it's not like that.
Okay.
Staff is just Kempshire staff. So, it's not good.
Also, there's that okay.
Our staff moves around. So if you say the staff basically in there, it doesn't work. But when you're doing this human resources one, it's all one staff.
Okay. So it actually makes it much more easier, because we just know that we're just gonna be filtering the client table on its own. That's touching the
that's what I thought. If you do client on their own, and then you do human resources, then you do human resources staff, and then maybe invoices there and things like that. That's
okay.
And the rotas and everything into the human resources one. So the human resources one will be it's on completely different.
The human resources manager could be then the admin for all of the things that do with human resources. Then we have our registered manager, who will be the one when it comes to our clients, will be the one who will be the
because the admin for the staff for the client might not be the same admin for the human resources.
Yes.
Okay.
So
there might be the manager of human resources who will be charged there. And probably the admin for clients, one other senior staff supposed to see other employees' files.
Other houses, other locations. We have placement coordinators who are in charge of locations as well, so they could have access of their specific locations. So placement coordinator, they've got shift leaders who work under them. Then they've got the support workers, and they've got the clients. So, these could have different sort of like accesses. Then obviously, we'll have specific, then we'll have the, let's say, the registered service manager who overall, you know, they've got access to overall all clients.
Everything.
Human resources is overall, you know, access to all staff, employees. Then obviously, you know, Liza and myself as, you know, as directors or senior management, we can have access to anyway around the, around the portal. So, you know, then obviously we have
unlimited
section
access.
for IT guys, you know, we have access to, you know, whenever there's maintenance,
certain things,
stuff like that. What it would also entail is we would need to obviously, well, you'll be part of Kempshire, you'll be part of, you know, would have to have declarations and data protection agreements signed, obviously for keeping confidentiality, because you know, you might be accessing details, you know, because they're servicing the portal. So, you know, there's some some legal sort of like aspects that will have to be sort of like looked into as well. You know, because we are talking of a different jurisdiction as well. So yeah. I was trying to share with you screen, but you know, for care control is what we are currently using. What I'll simply do is I'll share with you YouTube videos, and then on the YouTube videos I will.
I think it did. I think it did, but
Oh, did I?
That WhatsApp chat. I think it did, yeah. There's a time that I was using instead of my other device, so now it's swapped phone, so I don't have that chat history. But it did at some point. It really did.
Okay.
You shared a couple of videos. Yeah, but if you don't mind, but if you go on our chat, you see that you did share with me. But I did take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because we've already got a WhatsApp group, Liza. What do you think? Should we then introduce Simon and Paul? Because we already have the Kempshire Technologyz platform.
You want us to add Paul and
Yeah.
I don't mind with the team. I don't mind, because I mean, the sooner the better. We start hammering it now, because some of us are going to be a bit free in December, so that's going to be a bit of more capacity on our side. So we can then at least try to hammer things sooner. Talk to people, get at least the MVP. If you can get the MVP running, you guys have the first basic thing. And from there, you start building on top of that.
Yeah.
ndaona kuti ndikambomirira kusvika chapera ndona chapera panapa chapedzwa nevanhu.
But on our side, guys, thank you so much for doing this with us. Just want to extend.
No.
We really appreciate your trust, and because we really want to go ahead with this. Besides just certain benefits that come with it, personally, it's between me and Simon, is something that we need to do for a while, and we're excited to go on this project. We really want to hammer this up.
What is happening is these systems are sprouting out. But a long time ago, we used to trust bigger companies to do them.
Okay.
But we found out that anyone can do them.
Yeah. Not anyone.
So why not promoting our own now?
Okay,
exactly.
Now. When you say anyone, mommy, it's like you. It's like you're giving us.
Why do we have to go and promote some neighbor who's? Why not promote our own?
Not true,
I mean, she meant it in a way like, no, it's not like anyone can do it. It means that it doesn't have to be the big boys who are
specific people.
No. You know. I didn't mean to say any jacket. Like everyone is bringing out their own.
True.
Promoting their own. So why not promote our own?
I think we appreciate it.
One of our consultants here. The white guy, he told us that there's somebody who was doing their own and he wanted to sell it to us. So that's somebody who started doing their own. Yeah. So if we are clever enough to do it, then we'll promote it.
Yeah, why not? Thank you. We are here. Don't worry, we're gonna make you proud. We're gonna make you something that people will be like, where did you get this guy?
Exactly.
We
I think about the name very, very carefully.
okay, yeah, we're gonna think about the name.
Yeah.
We're
I'm joking.
I think the whole weekend we have to be just
thinking about the
focused
name.
on the branding.
We'll be
Yeah.
focusing on the name.
It's got to have some L somewhere.
I'm just saying that
Okay. Yeah. The L.
she wants an L somewhere.
I will make sure.
Yeah. So we'll proceed. We'll move ahead, and then like I said, we'll look into things on the ground. As I mentioned, the legalities as well.
Okay.
Then we'll explore about this Kempshire Technologyz. I don't know how are the laws like if you want to set something up over that side, how
we can also do our investigation this side as well for you.
Yes. That would be ideal, really, if you're able to, find out a bit more about that. Then, we will be having. We're supposed to have had a meeting with one of our strategists.
Okay.
We'll probably meet over the weekend or next week, Monday, because we are talking with Liza that we are looking to not just be limited in the UK, but we're actually looking to cross borders, to go further than just the UK. So we've got 3 places in mind, which are in Africa as well. So where you guys are might be one of them, most likely
potential.
Potential. The first or second, depending on which one we start off with. So
I know that's definitely something that you see when you talk of stuff like that now, we get us now excited. The blood starts pumping, because who doesn't want to be part of something that's first? We're gonna be first, and we set up something. When you start growing, and you mean to whatever the ideas that you're part of, the ideas are part of the decision making, which is something that you're gonna be proud of. So we're up for it, and we wanna be buying into the idea. That's why we are here. We wanna be buying into the idea. That's why we're here.
Awesome.
So the other thing, I know Mami supports us now. Come on, which team do you support? Please not Manchester United. Please don't tell me support Manchester United.
No, I don't support Red Devils.
Thank you.
What is it?
Now, I know good to me when support us. So I was asking.
No.
Saka.
Yeah.
Number 1. Thanks.
Yeah, as long as it's not Red Devils, I'm fine with any other team.
Thank you.
Why would you want the Black Devils and the Blue Devils and the what?
No, a devil is a devil.
The red up.
Doesn't matter the color.
They're doing it.
It doesn't matter the color. So
Simon is a red devil. So that's the reason. He's a red devil. That's the reason why we are friends.
He needs to be converted.
He needs to be converted. I've been telling him for I don't know for how long.
So which one is yours? You two might not even know what you are supporting. I want the blues in blue.
No, hey, listen.
Are you the losing blues?
No, not the losing blues.
He supports the smallest club in London.
Are you close to him, Simon? You need to give him a hug before he comes inside.
I know, yeah. Tomorrow I'll go and see him and give him a hug.
Give him a hug.
No, I know we're not the losing blues, guys.
It's a rough
page, don't worry. No, it's a rough page, don't worry. Things are gonna be okay, don't worry. Just patience. They say trust the process.
Until I know that you live right next to the stadium, Liverpool, but you go to support
Arsenal. Imagine
London.
It's like when we were back home. You live in a town, but your home is somewhere.
Somewhere else. Oh,
Down
okay.
south, that's where I belong. Here, I'm just coming. I'm working. I'm passing.
Oh, okay. You're passing by.
Passing through.
That's it.
My home is in the reds.
All right. Okay. That's fine. Now I know. I may have a blue man.
Yeah, blue man.
My blood is blue.
Okay. As long as it's nothing to do with the devils, the red devils, then I'm okay.
Emmanuel doesn't have it. Let's tell us which
Actually,
one
I
is
was
yours.
a Liverpool fan when I was back in Zimbabwe. When I came here, gravitated towards Arsenal. When Arsene Wenger
Okay.
left and Arsenal was not doing well,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I have to apply for another team here.
Another team.
But you
All
know
right.
what, Emmanuel? After Arsene Wenger,
Yeah.
then Arsenal started doing well.
Yeah, at a point they were doing well, but then they kind of like moderate. They're not going top.
They're not,
What
yeah,
are you talking about? They are top.
they're not there. No,
They're
no,
there.
they only said it last
Right
season.
now they're there.
They only said it. No, it's only last
Simon,
season.
what's going on? They don't know. They don't have news.
This guy. I think they're still
don't
watching
know.
last season.
So what about the Red Devils?
Arsenal is the top at the moment. It's the talk of the town. Talk of the country.
For
The
now.
talk of the
Man
nation.
United. So what about Manchester
Worldwide.
With United, we said after Ferguson retires, we'll give other teams a chance to catch up.
Well, you're going to give a chance.
Listen to you.
You're going to give others a chance.
Don't even talk about United. Otherwise, they'll be relegated very soon.
While they're giving others a chance, you'll be relegated
Soon.
Chelsea, United, and everything they are going.
You get
No, I don't know that.
Small teams like Leicester, they'll go on to the top.
I don't know. Chelsea coming.
Leicester only had one chance one time where they were doing well. After that, they didn't sustain it.
I think they lost the owner, isn't it? The owner died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah, helicopter crash. Since then, things have been dead for
He went with the spirit, and that was it.
Yeah,
it was
everything.
The son can't even manage. Shame. The son can't even manage him. Let me go play with you, Msukuru.
Thank you. Yeah.
Msukuru and everyone.
Okay, I'll do so.
Simon, it was nice to meet you.
Simon, nice to meet you. Thanks for supporting us, yeah.
If I'm ever in London, I'm at the Emirates. No other state.
Listen to.
So you are. Time and I'll buy you a seasonal ticket.
Okay, so Simon, you said Reds. Is it Arsenal or Man United?
No, it's United. But he just likes Arsenal.
I thought you are converting towards Arsenal. I was like, that's a start.
I don't know.
That's a good start.
You know what they say, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. So
exactly.
And you never know, you might be captured, you might not leave Rome.
That's not a bad idea.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Guys, good night. You too, guys. Bye-bye.
I'll send you guys the recording.
Please.
All right, thanks.